Welcome back, friends. Today we're taking a closer look at the Lymow robotic lawnmower. So this is the One Plus version. So this is new for this year. It has some upgrades I think you're going to check out. So one thing that makes Lymow unique, they are the very first to the market with real steel blades for cutting the grass. They don't have the razor blades, and we're going to take a look at the deck here, and we're going to show you how to sharpen the blades. So this second follow-up video of mine is going to just take a deeper dive into some things. So if you watch my first video and then you watch this, you'll just learn a little bit more, and that way you can see if this is right for you. So let's get this video started. So one thing I want to point out, this makes some really nice straight lines. So we're probably looking at about 300 feet from here all the way to that back corner. So you can see the mower right here is in one zone, and then over there is another zone, and the lines are perfectly matching up. So that's impressive. So another maintenance item that I've had to deal with in the springtime here, and usually not so much in the summer, is clearing out the tracks a little bit. Sometimes you get those big clumps of green grass. So what they have now with this newer model, there's a little button that you push right here, and it will release this plate right here. So that way you can get in here a little bit better and you can clear out some of that stuff. You can maybe take a leaf blower, you can use your hands. So if this gets really clumpy and you don't maintain it, then you may end up binding it up a little bit. You might get an error message where like the track is kind of jamming up a little bit and it will not turn like it will. It won't go in a straight line. It might start to want to pull to the side just because it has that interference with that. So it's a good idea just to run a leaf blower in there and maybe something else, whatever you can use to keep it clean. We're going to do a little bit of maintenance right now, and what we're going to do is clean the deck, and then we're actually going to remove the blades, and I'll show you how I sharpen them. I'm not sure what they recommend, but this is what's worked for me, and I've seen some other people do it as well. So I just put on some disposable gloves. It just helps the cleanup go a little bit easier. And whenever I'm working near the blades, whether it's a power tool or a lawnmower like this, I always like to disconnect the battery. So let's do that first. There's a release for the battery, and right there, I disconnected it. All right, so this tool right here is something that you're gonna find in the paint department. I found this one at Lowe's, and you can get them at Home Depot as well, or Menards. So this is something that works really well for scraping. This style right here, the exact one, you can see, this has some rigidity to it. So you can really get in there, and you can see in the springtime, this has really built up. So in just 3 passes, I've got all this right here. And then I also will use a stick right here. This is a wood shim. So this helps to get in there as well too. So just kind of alternate between the two. So you definitely want to get all this out, because when you have that in there, that disrupts the airflow and it doesn't allow the blade design to lift the grass and cut it. So I'm happy with that right there. And now what we're going to do is take the blades off. All right, we use, all right. So I just use a stick right here to keep the blade from spinning. I just need to be very careful I don't drop anything. I'm gonna put these back in there so I don't lose them. There's a washer and a bolt. All right, so right now as we're taking a close look, so it's a little bit rounded right there. It could be a little sharper. From what I can see, it's not too dinged up. It may have hit some sticks and stuff. I don't think it's hit any stones. And then on this side right here, these two blades, or those two sides right there, same thing. It's just kind of rounded right there. It just could use a nice fresh edge to help slice that grass. So let me show you how I sharpen these. All right, so I have my jaw horse right here. So I'm going to clamp it down, this blade. Let's see how I want to do this. I don't want to bend anything. So I'm gonna have to go like that. All right, make sure that's in there nice and solid. All right, so what I'm gonna do is probably like 4 passes going across on this side and then 4 on the other side. I wanna keep it even so they stay balanced. And then I have a balancer, a blade balancer that we can check when we're done. And this is my setup right here, an angle grinder, and I have a 60 grit flat disc. So we're going to go ahead and run that across, put our safety glasses on. We'll see how many passes it takes before it feels sharp. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So one thing you do is take a nail, put it on the wall, and then put this on there and just see if one side's heavier than the other. But let me show you my setup. All right, so this is my blade balancer right here. So one thing that's a good idea is to get all the grass off of it, but right now you can see it's fairly even. So this is made for bigger blades, I'd say, but it does actually work for these smaller blades. So you're gonna see this is a really precise blade balancer, much more precise than a nail. So then I have one more thing I'm gonna do to give it just a little better edge. Take the burrs off. Inside my kit right here, I have a leather strap right here. So what I do is I apply some of this green paste to it. I think they call it like a jeweler's paste. Just kind of rub it all in there. Just go ahead and go across. This right here just kind of polishes the blade a little bit. Nothing too excessive. Just kind of helps with the burrs. And you just notice the difference between the before and after with it. This feels a little more jaggedy, but after doing this a few times, it just, you know it's going to cut those grass blades very nice. So I want to point out an observation that I noticed on this. So for some reason, there is a threaded hole there and a threaded hole right there. So that could be for a future attachment. Maybe it would be for like some kind of a stripe kit. I'm not really sure, but just something that you may be seeing in the future. I think there's a reason for those. What do you guys think? So now that you've had a chance to see me test the Lymow mower out, I'd like to know what questions you have. A couple things I want to point out that I didn't mention in the first video. So first of all, this season right here with this mower right here, I haven't had any issues where I had to contact any tech support. Last year with the original Lymow mower, I did have some issues where it wasn't docking at night. So I don't know if the headlights weren't bright enough to read those QR codes or not, but that was something that they fixed. And I think since I've been using this for about a month now, I've seen, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 updates on it. So I can see that they're continually improving it. And this year, I'm just very happy with everything, the way that it's been working out for me. And I have a really big yard. So I have a big backyard, and in my front yard, I have 3 different zones. No, I have 4 different zones. And it's just really cool that you can choose the stripe pattern so the driveway doesn't interfere with the direction of the lines. This will just continue that over using the GPS over the driveway, over the gravel. So that's something that's not quite as easy for me to do with my zero-turn mower, is to spend that time to get those lines perfectly straight over the gravel. And a few other things I like about this, the track design right here. This seems to go over some pretty rough terrain because sometimes Leo over there does some digging and we have some bumpy surfaces, and this does seem to work its way over that. So I don't know if a different setup, it may end up getting stuck where I'm constantly going behind him and trying to fill it in so we don't have those holes, but he's a digger. Another feature I really like about this is how easy it is to lift the blade up. You don't have to tilt the whole thing or disconnect anything. It's just very easy to just push that button and it raises up, and you can just hose it off, or you can do that and use the stick. So it's very easy to clean this off with either like a wood shim like I showed you, or that little paint scraper, that plastic one, that works well too. Then when it comes to battery charging, if you go with the upgraded 10 amp charger, this isn't going to be docked as long. It can get back out there. So right now in the springtime, you just have to be a little more patient with it. It's not going to cut as much as claimed when you have this type of thick grass. But if I look at some of my videos that I had like in July or August, you can see this lawn behind me, I don't have irrigation, and it really gets quite dry. If we have those hot, dry summers without rain for a couple weeks, then yeah, this thing right here is going to just get a lot done on a single charge. So up until this point, I think I've been able to share all my top features on this. So what I like about this right here is I can run this time of the night or even a little bit later. I'm not going to disturb my neighbor with it. So it's, yeah, nice and quiet. The blades are all you really hear mowing. You don't hear like a big gas engine or any other thing really with the wheels turning. It's really the wheels itself and the tracks moving, they're really quite silent. So very happy with that. So, you know, I've been using the Lymow robot mowers on my second year now, and I'm really impressed with the way that they have made some changes, some firmware updates, and things are just really improving. They listen to their users. So one of the things that I'm wondering, like what the future holds for the Lymow robot mowers and just the industry in general. So, well, actually first I just want to go back to saying on the mower itself, the One Plus, I did notice that there may be some room for an attachment on the back. I just noticed a couple like threaded holes that some bolts can go into. So maybe they're going to have like some type of stripe kit available or some type of tow behind thing. I'm not really sure what that could be. Maybe it's nothing, but just trying to speculate, wondering what, if there's anything to do with that. And then I'm also wondering, just with robot mowers in general, will somebody come out with some type of robot mower wash, like a drive-through automatic wash? So let's say you're going to be out of town for a while on vacation or somewhere. Is there a way that you can have the mower automatically go through a wash like this so it can keep up on all the buildup of the grass clippings, so you could be more maintenance free? So that's just something, you know, looking at this artistic drawing that I came up with AI, just some ideas, thinking, you know, what's the possibility. And I'd be really curious to hear what you guys have to say. Is there anything that you can think of that would be cool to see, like AI draw a version of, that has anything to do with lawn maintenance, things like that? So if you have a comment or an idea, put them down below. I'd like to hear from you guys. And if you haven't seen my first video on this, I have some other features that I showed as I'm unboxing it and other things, how it compares to the first one. And yeah, just you might want to just check it out and let me know what you guys think. So that's it for now, friends. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Leo, how do you like the Lymow mower?